Engineer Gold Mines is focused on the exploration and development of the historic high-grade Engineer Gold Mine situated 32 kilometers southwest of Atlan, British Columbia. Engineer Gold Mines is fully permitted for surface and underground exploration with the drill program now underway. Engineer Gold Mines Limited trades on the TSX Venture Exchange, symbol EAU. For more information, please visit us at engineergoldmines.com.
You're listening to HowStreet.com radio, available online at TalkDigitalNetwork.com. Welcome to HowStreet.com radio, the online source for market opinions. Here is Jim Goddard.
My guest is Chris Vermeulen from the TechnicalTraders.com. Welcome back to the show, Chris.
Thanks for having me, Jim.
Chris, we'll start off the show with a listener question. This one comes from Mike, and Mike wants to know, it seems like gold stocks and silver are caught in the euphoria of the bear market rally in equities. If and when the equity markets retest the March 21 bottom, can we expect a similar correction or at least a significant correction for the precious metal miners and silver? Is it time to hold on to core gold bullion holdings and lighten up on the miners and silver? Chris, go ahead.
Sure. Yeah, well, I mean, it's really tough to tell, but generally what happens is if the stock market's going to go for a double dip here, it is a long ways down. And if it wasn't so far down, I wouldn't be quite as concerned with the gold miners and potentially metals themselves. But because that double dip is, we're looking at another, 30+% drop, 25% drop from here, that's enough that I think it could spark margin calls. I'm pretty sure it will. And it's also going to spark, kind of total panic where people are fearful again, and they might actually start to liquidate everything. And so just like the ocean and the tide, when the tide starts to go down, which is the stock market, it tends to pull most equities down with it, and gold miners are likely to get pulled down. Now, how severe? I don't think they would sell off that 57% in GDX that we saw on the last market sell-off. But I definitely think we could see GDX trading at 34 right now. I think it could move back down to the $26 area. So there's still quite a substantial potential drop. But I do feel as though the March kind of cleansed portfolios, ejected them out of positions, got them out of too much leverage. And so I think this time around the panic shouldn't be as severe. But I do feel like there will be an opportunity when this stock market starts to sell off and goes for that double dip. I think it could be another great opportunity for these for precious metals, more or less, to kind of correct and provide a good opportunity to get back in at a lower price.
What's the strategy for investing in precious metals, or do you just have to be very, very flexible in today's market?
Yeah, it depends what you consider investing. I mean, if you're a long-term kind of buy and hold investor, you're expecting the dollar to collapse over the next several years, and you're holding for, several years of position. I mean, I think this is the time to be long precious metals, and you kind of just ignore the noise in between, because everything fundamental-wise for the stock market's not very great. All the printing going on globally, not just in the States, but everywhere is super bullish for precious metals. And of course, there's a shortage for physical delivery, and silver is getting really extreme. The amount that's going into these ETFs, there isn't the supply for them, even for gold. So as a long-term investor, I mean, really, you buy it. For me, I buy it as an insurance plan and to hope to make a bunch of money, because if the financial system starts to really crumble, and the currency really falls, then obviously the gold should spike up and take off, and silver as well, and kind of counter the loss of holding fiat and other asset classes or in cash. So, as a long-term investor, I think this is the time to be long and to hold and really just kind of ride out the storm and see how bad things really get. Because as a short-term trader, I mean, we're having pretty big price swings that are tradable, and you do have to be very active and cautious, because some of these moves can really blow your account up if you're not on the right side of the market.
Is it an example of a shortage of physical product? I'm seeing ads on TV advertising $2 silver coins for $19.95. limit 5 each plus $5 shipping and handling. So you're paying $25 for a $2 silver coin. Is that a smart move, or are you just collecting a nice coin?
Yeah, I mean, I've never been a fan of coins. I mean, you're still overpaying. I mean, they're going to be making their money on the shipping and a little bit of a markup, because really, I mean, I've shipped silver rounds, 1 ounce silver rounds all over the world. And really, to ship in Canada, it's like less than $1. To ship anywhere from Canada to the States, it's like $1.75, and I can ship it all the way overseas for about $3. So those TV commercials are going on pure volume. They give you that limit, so everybody just limits out. So you're kind of locking in 5 coins. So they're boosting up the average sale. Instead of 1 coin, they're getting 5 with kind of the fear factor. And then they're making money on that shipping. They're making probably $3 off shipping alone, right? And they're going to sell millions of these things. I mean, it's marketing 101, and shipping is where you make a good chunk of money going forward. But I mean, accumulating silver, I think, is a smart thing. Silver has the potential to rally to $48 or $50 very easily, and it's got big potential to maybe even break the $100 mark, which sounds extreme, but I mean, everybody thought $11 forecast on oil that we had almost a year ago was extreme, and we went negative. So I like the precious metals. I think they're a great asset. You have to have some in your portfolio just in case they go completely ballistic.
We'll have more with Chris Vermeulen right after this.
Cypress Development Corp is developing a world-class lithium resource in the heart of Clayton Valley, Nevada. The size of the resource makes the Clayton Valley project a premier asset with the potential to impact the future of lithium supply. Cypress Development Corp trades on the TSX Venture Exchange, symbol CYP, the OTCQB, symbol CYDVF, and on Frankfurt, symbol C1Z1. For more information, please visit our website, cypressdevelopmentcorp.com.
Media recognition from Bloomberg, Reuters, Recycling Trade Publications. Patented process for 100% recovery of critical metals, including cobalt, lithium, nickel, manganese, aluminum. American Manganese is focused on recycling lithium-ion batteries for electric vehicles. American Manganese trades on the TSX Venture, AMY, the US, AMYZF, and Frankfurt 2AM. For more information, visit AmericanManganeseInc.com or phone me, Larry Ray, at 778-574-4444.
Welcome back. We're speaking with Chris Vermeulen. Chris, for people interested in getting precious metals, I know it looks very pricey to get in, but would averaging be a good idea? Just buy, say, an ounce or two of silver every month and whatever the cost is?
Yeah, I think dollar cost averaging is, I mean, it's the lowest stress, easiest to do. I think if you've got a bunch of money, I mean, you probably just put most of it in, but then as you have new money, you just kind of rotate it in and keep accumulating. And really it's, because you never know which way the markets are going to go. So you're going to have times when you pay a premium, times when you get in down near a low, and it really is just kind of the no-brainer. As long as you're averaging in, you're going to have, on average, a great price. So trying to time the market as an investor, it's not really worth it, because as an investor, you're going for big gains, long-term horizon. So just keep adding and slowly building your silver stack and gold stack, and eventually it'll be worth a lot more money than you paid for it.
On the equity markets, what kind of a swing are you seeing, or a change in the way people are investing right now?
Yeah, there's a little bit of a sentiment change over the last week, I've noticed. Most people are turning extremely bullish on equities, and overly bullish. We've got all kinds of people just piling into sectors, and in this week we're seeing sectors really come to life that have been dormant and underperforming for a while. So, for example, we've seen the technology sector, the NASDAQ, perform exceptionally well, and the transportation index, the banking or the financials have been underperforming dramatically. Same with industrials. Well, today we're seeing the opposite. We're seeing financials, transportation, industrials, even small caps are having huge moves to the upside. And we're seeing all the leaders that were the leaders the last couple of weeks actually moving very little today. NASDAQ's only up 0.6%. The technology sector is only up 0.75%, while the other sectors are up 5+, almost 6%, some of them. So it's really interesting, the sentiment change. It's gone from everyone kind of riding the tech wave higher to now everyone seems to be moving out of the tech. They're moving out of safe havens today, and they're piling into the other asset classes that have been underperforming, financials and transportation. So it's interesting that we're seeing this shift, and most of this move that we're seeing today happened really yesterday in futures when there was almost no volume. Everyone was on holidays, but the futures continued to stay open, and the market just popped and traded sharply higher. So this is a bearish sign. Short-term cycles are peaking. I've got a kind of a momentum, a short-term, and a swing trading cycle all kind of topping out today. And we're seeing this weird move in all these random sectors coming to life, showing that everyone's piling into the riskier plays. And to me, that's usually the sign of a short-term top. So I'm going to be interested to see where the week closes. Friday, if we're, flat or actually negative on the week versus positive, because right now everyone is overly positive and they're chasing prices up here. And it just seems to be kind of like a blow-off top kind of happening.
We'll have more with Chris Vermeulen right after this.
Avon Resources Limited is a gold exploration company with significant projects in British Columbia and the Yukon, trading on the TSX Venture Exchange, symbol ABN, and the OTCQB, symbol ABNAF. Surrounded by world-class gold deposits and mines, Avon's 23,000 hectares Forest Kerr Gold Project is located in the heart of the Golden Triangle in northwestern BC. For more information, visit us at avonresources.com.
Don't miss out. Stay informed. Receive the HowStreet.com weekly recap with thought-provoking podcasts, radio, and articles delivered to your inbox. Sign up for the HowStreet.com weekly recap on our homepage at HowStreet.com.
Welcome back. We're speaking with Chris Vermeulen. Chris, anything happening in the energy sector?
Yeah, the energies obviously energies have been coming to life. Crude is up fairly substantially from the last week even. It just continues to grind up. It does have a resistance area at this 36 to 35 kind of range. This is a pretty major resistance area from back in March. And it's continuing to grind and squeeze up there. We are seeing some really big volumes start to move into oil futures. We'll have to see where it goes. If it can break 36, then it's pretty much going to pop, I think, to around the $52 per barrel mark, which is a huge move. Not sure if that's going to unfold or not, but it's really setting up for this explosive move. And the big question is it going to break 36? And if it does, it's going to extend substantially. Or is it going to stall out here and roll over? And if it does, I think we're going back down to around $24 per barrel. So it's got a $8 upside or $15 upside, about a $10 downside move going forward. But overall, it's not a very clean setup on crude, so not really looking to get involved there. But natural gas has been forming this big bottoming formation, and it still has a little bit more work to be done. We did play the last big rally that was in April, where it pushed up and started to break out. It's pulled back substantially, but it's building a new little base, and it's starting to look prime and ready for another run up to that $2 mark. So natural gas is on the verge of a pretty nice run here. But again, the energy sector is still very mixed. I'm not really looking to trade it unless there's a clean setup, and at this point, I feel like there's more risk in those asset classes than potentially getting into a sector or precious metals, because we're seeing metals pull back, and they're actually starting to look like they're going to be a really good buy here soon for another leg to the upside. So to me, the asset of choice is going to be precious metals, where I'm looking really for the next trade.
I've seen some arguments online, Bitcoin as a source of storing wealth versus gold. Any opinion there?
I did a talk about a week and a half ago, and in the middle of a comment, I made a comment saying, a better Bitcoin, it's better to store your money in fiat currency than Bitcoin. But that was a part of the comment I was making. And of course, it went absolutely ballistic. But overall, Bitcoin to me is a little tougher to trade. People who are actually trading the Bitcoins, I'm not big into Bitcoin, so I really shouldn't speak too much about it. I like to follow the price. But overall, it seems like it's a little more complicated for people to just move out of cryptocurrencies. For example, you get into Bitcoin, you're up these big gains, and I know a lot of people are moving to a different type of cryptocurrency when they think Bitcoin's going to fall, but it seems like they almost all collapse together. When Bitcoin goes down, so do most of the other currencies, or cryptocurrencies. And so to me, I don't see it really as a store of wealth. I think it's an opportunity to make money, and I think once you've made that money, you need to move back to like the U.S. dollar or like I hate to say it, but like a real currency. To me, crypto really isn't that yet, just because you're kind of stuck in this crypto world and going from one coin to another. But again, it is a store of value. It really depends if that's the risk level you want to be at. I mean, it takes a very different mindset to be in and own crypto, and once you're in it, I think you love it and you need to understand it. But I think for the average, most people out there, I think it's really playing with fire, because you can be up really great, but if you can't get out quick enough, or if you lose your money, and obviously it's a big issue. So I'm not one for cryptos in terms of holding it as a store of wealth.
And we've heard of people who have lost their passwords, or there's a major power failure, their computer crashes, and the next thing you know, they have no access.
Yeah, there's a lot of confusion around it. I mean, I think once you understand it, it's really simple, but for some reason, it seems like it's a big step for people to be able to easily just take money, move it into Bitcoin, and move it out of Bitcoin. And there's some steps involved that just don't feel normal. So there's a high level of barrier to kind of wrap your head around it and kind of go that direction.
Chris, so how would you sum up what's going on right now?
Well, overall, equities are still in a strong rally here, a bounce, maybe a bear market bounce. I think you still have to be cautiously long. I do feel as though precious metals are still going to continue to rise. They're pulling back this week so far. I think they're still going to continue to move higher, though, once they have this little bit of a breather. I think stocks are going to struggle this week, although that goes against the grain of what everybody's doing and thinking today. I think this week could end up being a negative one, and the safe havens are going to probably shine. So that's kind of where I think you need to be, is cash and ready to move out of equities and move into safe havens.
Chris, thank you so much for chatting with us.
Hey, thanks for having me on the show, Jim.
My guest has been Chris Vermeulen from thetechnicaltraders.com. If you have any questions for Chris or any of our other guests, you can send them to info@howstreet.com. Find us on Twitter @HowStreet. Our YouTube channel is Talk Digital Network. We're also on Facebook. I'm Jim Goddard. Thank you for listening.
Comments made on HowStreet.com radio are an expression of opinion only and should not be construed in any matter whatsoever as recommendations to buy or sell any financial instrument at any time. Available online at TalkDigitalNetwork.com. HowStreet.com radio is a production of HowStreet Media Incorporated.